Turkey's main opposition party is vowing to fight a court ruling which ousted its leader. A growing political crisis could prolong the 23-year rule of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The European Union has raised concerns about the rule of law and judicial independence in Turkey, which is hoping to join the bloc.
Speaking to a rally in the capital, Ankara, the opposition CHP leader Ozgur Ozel was defiant in the face of the court ruling.
I'm in this building, in my office, and I'm not going anywhere.
It comes a day after an appeals court declared the results of the CHP's 2023 Congress null and void, citing unspecified irregularities. It was at that meeting that Ozgur Ozel was chosen as the party's leader. It effectively reinstates Özel's predecessor, Kemal Kilicdaroglu. He's a divisive figure who lost the last national election to Erdogan. The CHP called the ruling a judicial coup and promised to fight it through legal appeals. Critics see the ruling as yet another move by Erdogan and his AKP party to cement their 23-year grip on power.
Democracy, where is it? There's no such thing as democracy anymore. The people, we've experienced this before, haven't we? We've seen this too, haven't we? Democracy is over in the Republic of Turkey. We're very sad, very hurt. We're done for.
As a citizen, I just feel suffocated. Because at this point, people have no faith left in democracy. Looking at the previous anti-democratic moves, this was obviously going to happen. But when it actually happens, you realize how serious the situation is. Right now, I don't think there's anything we can do, besides taking to the streets and defending our rights.
And take to the streets is what hundreds of Özel's supporters did when the court decision was announced. Ozel warned that if necessary, the party would bring life to a standstill and said he would not surrender.
And DW correspondent Dorian Jones told me more about the judicial ruling.
Well, it's unprecedented that a court has intervened in the outcome of a Congress or of any political party, but there may be the main opposition. This really is seen as uncharted legal waters. Basically, many legal experts have said that the courts don't have any jurisdiction. This matter of any irregularities in a Congress is the domain of Turkey's electoral board, whose decisions can't be challenged by the courts. But it seems that we are in unprecedented times. This decision by the court to remove the leader of the main opposition party comes as the party is facing an unprecedented legal crackdown. Dozens of its mayors have been removed from office through massive corruption probes, including the mayor of Istanbul, Ekrem İmamoğlu, who was widely seen as President Erdogan's main potential challenger in any forthcoming elections. And those probes have also seen the arrests of hundreds of people working in these municipalities and party officials. So we are really at a moment of unprecedented legal action against Turkey's main opposition party, something that has never been seen before in Turkey's political history.
Dorian, why is a court getting involved in the question of who a party chooses as its leader in the first place?
Well, this all goes back to a party congress in 2023, which saw the removal of the long-term leader of the CHP, Kemal Kilicdaroglu, who had, in his more than decades rule, had lost more than a dozen elections. He was replaced by a much younger, dynamic man, Ozgur Ozel, who in many ways revitalized the party and took the campaign against the ruling AK party and the President Erdogan to unprecedented levels. Now, why he was being removed is that, according to a court ruling, is that he came to power through corruption, claims that a number of delegates were bought, and this court ruled, therefore, that his election should be deemed null and void, and the previous incumbent, Kemal Kilicdaroglu, should be replaced back in office.
Who's in charge now of the CHP?
Well, it's Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, who has been many years in the party. He is seen as someone that had been seen from many of his own members as an electoral failure. He'd many times run against the president and had lost comprehensively, most recently in the last presidential election, which was seen as the best opportunity for the opposition to win. And in many ways, he was ahead in the polls and he dropped the ball in the campaign, which many critics claim, which resulted in him being ousted from office. So it is a very controversial decision, and in many ways has provoked deep divides within the main opposition, CHP, over his reappointment to the leadership of the party.
Dorian, when we look at the markets and their reaction now to this ruling, Turkish stocks and currency plunged on the news. What's your read on that?
Well, that's right. I mean, this ruling had been widely expected for some time, and many critics of the government said the only reason that this ruling didn't go ahead was fears what the financial markets will react to. The Turkish lira is very vulnerable. It's the central bank has already spent in the region of 20, possibly $30 billion this year defending the currency in the wake of the Iran war, and international investors are very nervous about the risk of political turmoil, and that resulted in reports of major selling of the currency. And again, as much as $6 billion were used to defend the currency. The stock market was suspended on news of the ruling on Thursday because of large falls. Today, the markets have been more settled. That is seen as possibly major interventions into the market to stabilize it. The country is now going into a 9-day holiday, and I think the government will be banking that after that period of time, the markets will take breath and some stability will be returned. But this will all depend on what the opposition does coming forward. Does it sustain a major protest across the country, which risks plunging the country into political chaos? Everyone will be watching carefully what will happen in the coming days ahead.
DW correspondent Dorian Jones in Istanbul. Thank you.